Welcome to Civilian Jeeps. I'm Jake, and today we're going to be doing something that I've wanted to do for a while now. About 6 to 8 months ago or so, I bought a KC Pro Gravity light bar off Marketplace. Got a really good deal on it, so I decided that I'd go ahead and snatch it, even though it don't have the wiring harness. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be wiring up this KC Pro Gravity, and also we're going to be wiring in these ProComp rock lights. Messed the box up a little bit, but these are actually new. I bought those off of ProComp's website, but they took about 8 months on back order. I didn't know if I was ever going to get them. So let's just dive right into it. I'll show you how I wire this up with my own custom harness, and I'll show you wiring the ProComps, and stick around to the end because we'll actually take this outside and see just what kind of light output I'm getting from these two lighting sources. To start with, this is mounted on, I've already mounted it, as you can see. It's mounted, this is a Rough Country TJ A-pillar 51-inch light bar bracket. Works out fine for the KC Pro Gravity. I did have to weld the snorkel bracket to it right here, and the snorkel, we're about to take it off so we can run our wire down through here. Now I plan on running the wire down this snorkel, and this fender's already cut up for the snorkel, so I'm gonna go behind the snorkel and add a grommet and go into the engine bay that way. But it should be a pretty clean install. I'm going to be using 12 gauge wire. I've got a Nyrider system in here, not an aux beam, it's a Nyrider. It's like an S-Pod almost. And I'm going to be putting it to this switch. Now it's going to be a 30 amp, which is a little more than what's needed. You only really need a 20 to 25 amp on this system. And I'm going to be using a 3-wire 12 gauge. Now the reason for 3-wire is because I plan on making a custom wiring harness for this light bar, not today, but eventually, where I can control these, my white lights, and my amber lights separately. So I plan on doing that, so I'm gonna go ahead and run the 3-wire connection down through here so I don't have to do it again. So let's just go ahead and take this snorkel off and get right into it. So snorkel is off. That took a whopping 10 minutes. That was not hard at all. So now what we gotta do is take this 12 cable right here, 12 gauge, and find the end of it. And hopefully you'll be able to see inside here that there's 3 different ones for that custom harness that I'm gonna be doing. Well, I'm gonna go up here, slice this off, put these 3-pin Deutsch connectors in there, wire them up. All it is just a little metal prong that goes in each one of these. You clamp it on, then we're gonna send that wire down the A-pillar and drill into this fender. So here's the finished product on your Deutsch connector. You got the pins in there, got the rubber grommets in the back. Same goes for up here. All the pins are in, rubber grommets are in. Just put that wire loom back over it. I did put that 3rd wire in there, so it's just connected together, so it's that wire's not going anywhere, but I just wanted it to be watertight. So the new harness that I'm going to build for this later on, it will have all 3 wires, but this one's just a 2. So anyway, let's go ahead and connect them up, then we'll start running it down the side. Now that I have it connected, I'm running it down through here. The next step is I got to put a hole in the side. If I didn't have my snorkel with a big hole already there, I would really hesitate to do this. But since I already got a hole, I'm going to take a punch or a screwdriver. I'm going to use a screwdriver. I don't have a punch in the garage down here. I'm gonna punch a hole, drill a hole, put a grommet there. Now if you don't have a snorkel, I recommend you do your cowl or somewhere along the lines. But a 12 gauge wire, you're not gonna fit that through the door very easily. So it's kind of the only option I got is run it down through here and let the snorkel hide the wire. So the wire and grommet is in. Run it up through here, just put a little zip tie right here by the antenna. Run it up through there. I already test fitted the snorkel, looks good. I'm not gonna put the snorkel back on. I'm actually gonna go and replace this hose. I want to make sure that it's all sealed off well. So I'm not gonna put the snorkel back on right now, that'll be a little later, but let's take the rest of this wire down here and run it over to my Nyrider switch panel box, and let's go ahead and get it wired up and turn it on. Well, the wiring is ran out through the fender, up over the battery, along the firewall, come down through here, tied it into my switch panel box right here. I got it on switch number 5. The yellow right here is the one that's eventually going to be the other hot wire to control 2 different functions on that. That'll be at a later date. So I've got that wired in. I got it down along through here for the ground. The ground is grounded right here at the bus bar. I made a bus bar just for grounds. I used to have them all going to this body mount right here, or not body mount, but body tap. So that was tapped in, all the paint was knocked off. It's a good ground, but I wanted something a little more user friendly. So I decided to take a ground. I took a ground and went along the firewall all the way back up through here, tied it into this bus bar, and then I took another ground and tied it back to the body. So it's grounded to the body and the battery, so that should be plenty. Now let's go ahead and turn this thing on. Inside of the Jeep, I've got the switch panel located down here. So even though that it says horn for number 5, if you can see that, I had this in an older Jeep and I took it out and put it in this one, so the labels don't match up, but I don't really care. So that is the light bar, and it does look to be working. Let's turn off the lights. That is bright. The 2 in the middle, I still have the covers on. I couldn't reach them. That is a bright light bar. So later on tonight, I'm going to get the Jeep out and we're going to see just how this thing performs. Also, I'm going to try to get the rock lights wired in so we can also see them as well. That's what's going to be next. So the plan for these rock lights, I got them out of the box here. As you can see, there's a hot and a ground, and this is your rubber isolator that the wire is going to feed through. I'm going to use this as a template whenever I go to mount these on the Jeep, but I'm going to use self-tappers instead of the screws that they send. Self-tappers would just be a lot easier. But the big thing is you just got to make sure that nothing on the other side of the Jeep is going to be affected by the self-tappers. Now, somewhere, here it is. I'm not going to use this. This is useless to me. This is basically the switch. I wish there was a junction box to tie all these together. More expensive, nicer rock lights have a junction box, but I'll just have to make one myself. And I have noticed that they don't give you enough wiring, so I'm gonna have to use my extra wiring over here to be able to do that. But I plan on putting one under the front bumper, one under each fender well. Same goes for the rear fender well, and then I'm gonna put one on the very back where the rear bumper is. The big thing is I don't want it in the way of anything, and I don't want them to get crushed. Well, I've got them all mounted. I'll go ahead and show you where I decided to put these. Here's that one right on the support on the front. That one's in the fender well. That's the passenger side. Go around to the driver's side. It is also up in the fender well. Go to the rear. You can barely see it. It's right there. It's in the fender well. Same goes for the passenger side, and then you can see that one right there is in the rear, right on the back frame support. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these wired in. I'm gonna see how much extra wiring I need. Hopefully it's not too much, but I'm gonna go ahead and gather all the hot and ground wires and run them all up to the front and put them all together. Well, I got all the rock lights wired up. There's 6 of them total, like you've seen previously. And I did have to use quite a bit of extra wire. There wasn't enough in the kit. And the thing that I'm most frustrated about is I had to use some wire screws, like housing wing nuts. I had to use some wing nuts like you would use on electrical in a house. And I know that's not really the route that you want to go with that sort of thing. I need a bus bar or some type of connector. I might end up soldering these together as well, but I'm just not that keen on that setup right there. However, the little cap that they send you is just not big enough to put all those together. This should have come in the kit, but this ProConk kit's only $100, so kind of get what you pay for sort of thing. There's a lot of extra stuff that you have to do and extra things that are provided, when honestly, if you just buy a nicer kit, it will come with all that you need. Now, I went and I got the rock light on right there. It says rock on my switch panel. Now, like I said, it's 6 lights, and honestly, I don't think it's enough. I think I might order another set because I want 2 right there in the middle. It really should have 8, and some kits do come with 8. So if I was to do this over again, I'd have bought a nicer kit with 8 lights total. Well, this is Jake from the future here. I've already filmed the section where I went outside with the KC Pro Gravity and the rock lights, but I did notice that the rock lights looked really blue and I couldn't figure out why. Well, the reason is because there's a film over the light itself that is to protect the light while it's in the box. I didn't peel that off. So if you see the rock lights and they have a blue hue to them, that's why. I've not taken the film off of the light itself. So let's peel those off, and I'm going to compare it to the rock lights that are on the Postal Jeep. 6500K tint to it instead of that. Looked like about 8,000 honestly with that film that was over the rock light. I'm really liking it now. I just wish I had something in the middle. This is the Postal Jeep, and its rock lights are rough country, and they're more centered towards the middle. As you can see, there's not much up front, and it's a lot shorter, stubbier Jeep. But the rock lights on it, the rough country ones, do seem to be quite a bit brighter than the Pro Comp rock lights. But I just want to do a quick comparison of a rough country versus Pro Comp. I'm inside of the Jeep and I'm about to turn the KCs on. And now keep in mind, this tree line that's up on the hill is probably about 600-700 feet away from here. So we're gonna see if we can light that up. Oh yeah. Well, on the camera you can't see it too well, but it definitely lights it up. Let's just drive around a minute. Now keep in mind, this would be brighter if I didn't have the amber covers on, which I thought about taking them off for this video, but I do like the amber covers. And I'm going to be making, like I mentioned previously, I'm going to be making a separate wiring harness so I can turn the ambers on separately from the clear. Man, that's some light right there. And it's very, how would I say, focused. I mean, like you get cheap lights off Amazon, and it throws a lot of light, but it's not the most clear light. This is very clear lighting. I mean, this is this is some crazy stuff. But it should be for a $2,000 light bar. Granted, I didn't pay that for it, but I mean, if you pay $2,000 for a light bar, you'd expect it to perform pretty well. Here's the final product. Let me go ahead and go over a few of the specifications of the KC. The raw lumens is 18,400. The lux is 6,700. The candela is 670,000. And the beam distance is supposedly 1,637 meters. That is quite the throw of output that it's putting out. I've had quite a few light bars in the past on other Jeeps, and this blows it away. I mean, I can't really pick it up on the camera too well, but it's lighting up the neighbor's tree line, which is every bit of 1,000 feet away. So for it to claim 1,600 meters, and that's in meters, so multiply that by around about 3.2, so you're talking 4,000 feet or so. That's crazy, the throw. Now, let's go ahead and go to the rock lights. The rock lights, like I mentioned, is 6,500, the color temperature. And the lumens, if I remember right, let's see here. Let me look at the box real quick. The lumens are 800. And it's not terrible, like I mentioned. I just wish I had 2 in the middle. But I wish that they would have given me a junction box to tie all those lights into. I didn't like using that wire nut, so I'm going to order a bar and tie all this in. But overall, I think the KC Pro Gravity is a big upgrade for this Jeep. I really like the looks of it, and the performance is just as good as it looks. That's wild. So if there's anything you'd like to know about either one of these, the Pro Comp Rock Lights or the KC Pro Gravity, I'll try to answer any questions to the best of my ability in the comments below. Let me know if you've enjoyed this. I know it wasn't a full-blown overview, and this wasn't really a full-blown installation video as well, because it was more like a rapid of both the installation and overview. But man, do I just love this Jeep. Anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here, and you know, when it comes to Jeeps, keep it classic.